Hello and welcome to our Digital Transformational Experience Center, where we showcase some of the interesting solutions that we have across the entire spectrum of digital transformation. And today, I'm very pleased to have with me Andy Chatha, who is the President and CEO of ARC Advisory. Andy, thank you so much for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure to be here at your lab, and thank you very much for giving me a tour of your labs. I've been very impressed all around us here. You have built all these IoT solutions. I think I'm very impressed and give you a lot of credit for making these investments and so forth.
So Andy, you meet so many businesses across the world. So what are some of the challenges that these businesses are facing? And what are their expectations out of digital transformation?
At ARC, we talked to a lot of executives around the world, and recently, actually, we conducted a survey where we asked the top executives, what's most important to you at this time? And they all tell us that digital transformation is most critical to their companies for survival. When we ask them, why digital transformation is so important to you, they tell us, you need the digital transformation to become far more agile, make their operations much more flexible than actually they could do before. And when you look at the industry, for example, they have so much investment in equipment. They make all these products and they have plants, and one of the biggest problem is these products failing, and even though you can actually certainly, do a lot of monitoring, but still, failures keep on happening. And whenever a piece of equipment fails, it's a big loss of their production, a big loss actually of money. They have to actually repair them. So they see that digital transformation can help them reduce the downtime of their assets. So there are many, many benefits they see in making investments in digital transformation.
So there's so many digital and IoT solutions out there, but very few of these solutions actually end up being adopted in mass scale. So what hinders their adoption?
Well, when you're talking about digital transformation, it's really a journey. It's not a one-time investment, and it's actually complex journey. The companies who are, for example, making products, they are trying to figure out how do they make their products smarter? How can they actually make their user experience better with their products? And on the other hand, the companies who have these big investments into their plants, they have invested, sometimes a plant, you have to make $1 billion investment in building a plant. So you have so many assets, and whenever a failure happens, they can lose a lot of money. So digital transformation, it's complex, and companies, they need to really very carefully, beta test these new solutions, and they have to really try out these solutions. So it's a sort of journey that they have to actually start. And when we talk to companies, yes, we say it is complex, it's going to take time, but you got to start now. So companies have to really start making investments. Yes, it's going to take time, but they got to do it now.
So, one of the fundamental building blocks, whether we're talking about the IoT journey, the digital journey of businesses, is connectivity. So how critical is it to have a device-to-cloud platform that is open, that is scalable, and flexible? And you've had a chance to see our Ubiquise platform as well, where we're having applications for construction companies and home automation companies as well. So your thoughts on that?
Right now we are living in a software world. Software is good because it's far more flexible and you can actually change it very quickly. So companies right now, they have experience with their legacy applications. when you are complex plant, or maybe you talk about a smart city or smart grid, you are literally talking about hundreds of applications. And connecting all those applications is not easy. Connectivity, integration has been the number one problem for companies for so long. That's why now companies are trying to move to a fewer, smaller number of software platforms, so that actually it's much easier to connect a small number of platforms together than perhaps hundreds and dozens of applications. So software platforms are becoming very important. Yes, it is true you will probably need more than one platform, but still having a more manageable, small number of platforms are very important, and that's why I'm very impressed that you guys, L&T, is building some of these platforms. So I think moving forward, companies will be actually using platforms, and then what they can do on top of the platforms, they can start adding more specific functionality. If it's like we have a pump solution here, a pump company, they can use the basic platform, and then they can add actually a pump application on top. The same thing actually other product companies, so you can take the platform and start adding more specific solutions to the platform.
So earlier today, we showed you our energy management platform called IBEMS, which we refer to as an ingenious system of systems. So what is the potential of IBEMS, not just for building energy management, but also energy management of plants and big factories?
I think energy management is one of the biggest thing. Every company, every building, every plant, every company can lower their consumption of energy, and energy, is expensive, and especially, companies, countries like India, it's very expensive. So lowering energy cost goes right to the bottom line of the companies. So there is a lot of opportunity in my mind. Every building, every company, every plant can use an energy management system. And again, on energy management platform, you can also start doing other things. If you are in a building, you can integrate obviously heating, ventilation systems. You can connect the building access controls. You can connect actually cybersecurity. You can start bringing all of these other solutions together. So I think we are just at the early stages of having these energy management systems for buildings. Almost every building and most every country can use one of these systems. So I think there is a lot of opportunity in energy management systems and all types of applications.
So one of the things that we had shown you earlier is our integrated story of how we're trying to connect assets, how we're trying to connect workforces and equipment on the plant floor, as well as improving the productivity and service support. So what do you think about these kind of integrated solutions that impact every area of a business?
Well, when you're really talking about some especially industrial companies, if you're talking about a plant, you have to integrate all the products, otherwise your plant doesn't run. So you have to bring all these solutions together, all the way from solutions like your pump monitoring system here, or maybe we saw other equipment monitoring systems here, and your actually construction solution here as well. So I think a lot of these solutions certainly companies are going to need, and in the end, actually to get the full benefit from having these solutions, you got to integrate them all. So you have to start thinking about when you're running a building, you have to really integrate all the different systems to get the full benefit. The same thing is true about the industrial plants and so forth. So overall, company that can integrate all the different solutions certainly is going to have an advantage.
So you talk to so many engineering service providers right across the world, and you've had some time to interact with our engineers here as well today. So what, in your opinion, differentiates L&T Technology Services from some of the other engineering service providers out there?
Well, what I know about L&T, L&T been an engineering company for a long time. They have built, so many major projects, not only in India, but also in other places, large projects. You talk about, all the way to, nuclear plants and ports and all kinds of large projects. L&T has a, great and very distinguished history. So I think, in my view, by building some of these solutions that you have shown me here, you are building on your, legacy, and hopefully, taking L&T into the digital world. So I think it's a good that you can help, whole company move into the digital world, and also start helping lots of other companies, do the same.
It's always great to build solutions that we want to use ourselves, right?
Absolutely. You have to start eating your own food. You have to start using your solutions internally. And I think that's a great thing, having ability that you can, beta test and these solutions that you are developing, internally before taking them to your customers. And I think that's also a good competitive advantage.
So lastly, what are some of the areas that you think we should be investing in going forward?
Well, there are so many opportunities, actually. We talked during lunch, cybersecurity is on the mind of every CEO out there, helping companies become more secure. Networking, every company has to integrate their different operations and so forth, asset management, all these remotely managing. I mean, it's a great thing that, most of us, whenever there is a new change, we download a new app on our phones. I mean, it's a good that you can take same functionality to all the assets in a plant or in a building or wherever they are. Whenever you can download new functionality to a pump or a valve or any kind of machine, that you can give the machine a new life. Absolutely. You can, add new functionality. Your machine can start doing new tricks. So I think it's a terrific thing that what you can do with some of these solutions, and you can really, change the world.
Thank you so much, Andy, for spending time with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.